What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse ranch, no hate. So, I did a video talking about Martin Bakoloe and Jared Anderson. Now, let me further assess what I see in them. Martin Bakoloe is bigger. He's like 299, just say 300 pounds. Jared Anderson comes in around at 250-ish. 6'4". He's 6'4". I think Jared Anderson is 6'4". And Martin Bakoloe's tall, a little taller, whatever. But this is what I see. And see, this is the fight. And I'm doing this video, salute. One of the family, I don't remember who it was, one of the family asked a question, like, he said he wasn't familiar with Jared Anderson. Was he just like some hype job, or basically paraphrasing, like, was he really the real deal type of thing? And I said, this is what this fight hopefully will tell us. Now, I don't know that it's official yet, because when I pulled it up again today, I saw the same exact things I saw yesterday. So, now they're trying to put this on the card, the Terrence Crawford card, okay? Once again, they was trying to get Deontay Wilder on that card against Jared Anderson. Now, we know that that's not going to happen. But Martin Bakoloe, okay, he's extremely flat-footed. Like, he doesn't like to work on his legs at all. I mean, in the ring, he doesn't like to work. He likes everything is upper body, everything. Now, he does throw a quick, stiff, hard jab. I love when he throws the jab and then turn it to a hook to the body, and he does it real quick. So he's a quick-handed fighter. His stance isn't always the best either, because he squares up a lot. But what he does is effective enough so far. I mean, I saw him when he lost to Michael Hunter some years ago. And, you know, Jared Anderson, once again, I give the edge, technically all around, a better fighter. Now, for Bakoloe to beat Jared Anderson, now, of course, anybody can land a big shot and it can be over, or some big shots and it can be over. So, for him, I see him having to just be busier. That jab being the key. You know, feints with the jab. Making Jared Anderson know you have to get past this jab for one. And then once you get in here, I got this right hand waiting for you. Okay? But because of his lack of mobility, he becomes very repetitive with what he's doing. And for Jared Anderson, he's technically all around better than Bakoloe. But I got to say this. Now, for example, I remember watching him fight Carlos Takam, Bakoloe. When Takam was able to get inside, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't even looking half of the time. And Bakoloe was literally leaning back, punching like a video game, like literally punching, like, you know. And he was catching him with some shots. He hurt him, had him on wobbly legs, because most of that shit was hitting him on top of the head. He wasn't even looking at most of that shit. He was in and wasn't really doing much of anything. He wasn't coming in on angles. He wasn't, he was having a hard time getting in on the inside. And, the ref stopped it. Takam was taking big shots. Now, once again, Bakoloe, he's heavy-handed. Bakoloe, he's quick-handed, but he's heavy-handed. Like I said, he doesn't even turn it, get his torso on his shots. Everything is arm punches. And he wings his shots at you as well when he throws his hooks. Now, for him to keep Jared Anderson, because he doesn't have footwork. So, again, the jab. the variation upstairs, downstairs with the jab. You know, throwing the hook off the jab. Throwing his 1-2. But, I mean, like, he has to be consistent. Now, when he goes after you, the problem is Bakoloe leads with his chin. And he's there to be hit, man. He gets hit with big shots. I think either guy can stop the other if they're catching each other clean. For Jared Anderson, I think he needs to, for me, I'm looking at it, he needs to give angles, pop his jab. When Bakoloe jabs, you jab with him. Right? Double, triple, move. Don't become repetitive. But you're going to have to back Bakoloe up. Not just back him up and try to get, you know, push him on the ropes the way Takam was doing. No, you have to have purpose. Back him up, go to his body, make him move, give him angles, make him suck wind. These big guys don't like to be too mobile on their feet. And he's 50 pounds heavier than Jared Anderson. So Jared needs to make him suck wind and be quick-handed when he throw his shots. You know that Bakole's shots are going to come straight down the middle. When he's stationary, it's just jab, right hand. Right? Jab. Then he throws the hook to the body with the same hand. When he comes forward, that's when he starts to throw the hooks as well. And like I say, he leads with his chin. He leaves his hands down a lot. And like Jared, I feel like needs to hurt him. Like crack him and let him know, like, no, you're bigger than me, but I can hurt you. I think that Jared Anderson, see, this could be a difference maker too, and I want to make this clear. You see, when him saying that he only wants to fight another 2 years, like I said before, that makes people not really want to, you know, really get into what he's doing, because it's like, okay, what's the purpose? The dude's talking about walking away in a couple of years. But when you think like that, when the fight gets tough, you might consider quitting. You understand what I mean? Like, I don't need to take this. Versus a person who's determined and that's actually coming to fight to win, to like, this is what I do, you know? Now, I know that Bakoloe hasn't been in the ring for a while. I know that. He's been less active. That can come into play as well. But grit and determination, I feel like a fight between these two, that's what it will come down to. Because for either guy, somebody's going to have to take control at some point, right? And after that last fight that Jared Anderson had, you know, he was waiting for the guy to do something. But you're fighting a much smaller guy, naturally, in height and weight. And then, like, yeah, I know the guy can't survive, but Jared Anderson now, once again, learning experience, and he can understand what he should have done. And then, okay, next time he's in a situation even similar to that, he knows what to do, hopefully for him. But the guy was just trying to survive and not trying to commit to anything. But the fact that Jared Anderson didn't open up the way he should have, like he really did much of nothing, that was a snoozer of a fight. It makes you wonder, how will he react if Bakoloe catches him with something hard? Even if it doesn't drop him, but like, you know, will he react the way he's supposed to, or will he get to the point where, okay, he starts laying back and not letting his hands go, trying to be overly cautious? I don't know. Now, I saw Jared Anderson eat some shots from Charles Martin, but Charles Martin's washed up at this point, and it wasn't enough coming through. You know, he was, you know, and he won that fight, and it's a great thing that he won for him, because he's not, I mean, if he'd have lost that fight, we already know Charles Martin has been outboxed by several people. But when it comes to a dog fight, Martin Bakoloe has fought better competition. So that also can come into play. I've been here before, you know. I'm used to this. We can't say the same thing for Jared Anderson. So when I'm looking at things from a technical boxing aspect, I give the edge to Jared Anderson. Who I think the better fighter is, better boxer is, I say Jared Anderson. But once again, it might come down to that, like that grit, that determination, like I said. And if Jared Anderson is on top of his game, he should win. But the possibility of him getting cracked with something as well, and going into more of a defensive shell and not fighting the way he's supposed to, that really can come into play, because Martin Bakoloe, he hits considerably harder than Charles Martin. And Charles Martin cracked Jared Anderson a couple of times in that fight. And I never saw him look like he was in danger of going down, but I did see him get hit with some shit where you knew, like, oh, like he got rocked. And it's boxing. It's boxing. I don't know how sharp Jared Anderson can be. See? And this is the thing. I already know, everybody knows what Bakole's going to do. You know what he's coming to do. If Jared Anderson is sharp, and this is what I mean in using his head and understands, Martin Bakoloe is not good going backwards at all. He has no mobility. He's not good at sidestepping, nothing. He's just a big dude that stands in one spot, and pretty much, like I say, he does have a quick jab. He does have, some power. He has power, but angles, work off the jab to, you got to hit him in the body, in the hips, come down the middle when you come. See, he wants to catch you, throw your shot, and then boom, catch you opening up. Jared Anderson is not that he necessarily has to be first all the time, but he does need to try to back Bakoloe up. And pretty much, I don't know if he's capable of doing that. Jared Anderson, see, that's the thing, what I'm saying. We've seen guys who have skill, but they get in there with somebody who's just super tough, right? And the guy is taking his shots better than they're taking his. Now, this is why I'm saying, when I look at it, I pick now, and this is what now, when I say Jared Anderson should win if he's on top of his game. But once again, when I say that, I mean on top of his game, offense and defense, understanding what he's supposed to be doing, and understanding what his opponent is trying to do, and knowing how to nullify that shit. Because Bakoloe is going to be Bakoloe. But Bakoloe has been tested, and Bakoloe is not a stranger to actually being in a tough battle. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas we haven't seen Jared do that, so I don't really know how Jared is going to react. So this is the type of fight that it would take to show us where he is. And as a fighter, I like Jared Anderson as a fighter. Bakoloe is a big puncher with and a big guy. Jared Anderson has all the physical tools he needs to beat Bakoloe. It's just the mental toughness and just the smarts. Especially when you fight a guy like Bakoloe, that he pops that jab out, and he's long. He's gonna throw the 1-2. The tall, longer guy wants to keep you on the end of his punches. And I think that Jared Anderson, the way he fights, Jared leans back, and he likes to, like when he comes in, a lot of times what he does that little hop step, and then he'll throw his jab, and then come on top of that, and he'll throw combinations. Now, up close, Bakole's going to have trouble trying to counter that at close quarters because he's so long and rangy. And like I said, he literally was throwing punches like this at Carlos Takam when he had him on the ropes. Now, Takam was a lot shorter, but he was able to back him to the ropes. He just wasn't able to do anything once he got him there. And I saw him get hit and get hurt, and I saw him never recover from it. He was trying to dance on his legs and everything, but his legs was just wobbly. Carlos Takam is tough. I don't know if Jared Anderson has that kind of toughness, though. See, and this is where it's like, it's not about being no fan. Well, y'all know I'm not anybody's fan, but this is not about fanboy stuff. This is about, I'm calling it as I see it. I don't know if he has that type of dog in him. Okay, and so to beat Bakoloe from the outside, he's just gonna have to be quicker and have more of a work rate, and that would mean get in, get out. But at some point, give him different looks, but he has to get Bakoloe to back up, and that's where this right here could be a much tougher fight for Anderson than people realize. Now, Anderson can also be a tough fight for him. But one thing, too, that I noticed, and I have to bring this up because this can be a factor, and I've been saying this, you guys know this from day one. Jared Anderson has been known to fight guys considerably smaller than him. And the bigger guys that he fought wasn't really worth a damn. So the level of competition when you step up, this is a step up fight for both guys. So yeah, I mean, these are the intangibles that I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. So yeah, I mean, this fight can go either way, man. It just depends on execution. And really for Anderson, for both guys, but especially for Anderson, because like I said, because for Bakoloe, Bakoloe, with his style and the way he fights, he's right there. His head is always on the center line, and it's just like, I'm gonna throw this jab stiff, hard, and quick. I dare you to try to get in. That's the way he fights, and he's stationary. He's in one place. So for Jared, who is far more mobile and can move better, it just depends on him being able to deliver those shots accurately and quick. And now, like I said, both guys, of course you want to be as sharp as you can, but Bakoloe is more than likely to try to turn it into a fight, whereas Anderson wants to box. So when it comes to execution, this is what I'm saying. Jared is the one that I envision being more strategic in terms of overall boxing, breaking you down, whereas with Bakoloe, it's more like, I want to just brutalize you. Yeah, I'll break you down, but I'm gonna do it in a brutal way. Yeah, I'm gonna work off of this jab. So even though he's jabbing and working off of it, he's punishing you. He's coming to really hurt you. Jared wants to hurt you, but Jared can box. So where he has advantages and edges over Bakoloe might be nullified just by sheer determination and toughness. You see what I'm saying? And so yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why like I said, this is what I love about the sport, man, is when you have these type of matchups, because like me, I'm being honest with you. I'm always going to be nothing but honest with you, and it's like, I can't just I can see either guy winning. I can't clearly just say one guy over the other. Sometimes, somebody might get brutalized in the first fight. They might have a rematch, and then all of a sudden, that one that got brutalized comes back, and damn, he does it back to him. Yeah, and either guy, can land a big shot. Now, Jared Anderson has a good punch. He has a respectable punch. He's not a devastating puncher. Now, does he hit hard enough to make Bakoloe say, damn, I don't want to get hit with that again? See, this is what I don't know. He has the power. He can definitely create. Don't get me wrong. He catch him clean. Guys can get each other out of there. But I'm just saying, Bakoloe is more battle tested between the two. You see what I'm saying to you? So it might be one of those things where, all right, he's catching me with some shots. I'm getting hit here and there. And the thing about it, if Jared Anderson is getting to you like really catching you clean, and you're right there, and that's why I'm saying, because Bakoloe doesn't move, so he's right there to be hit. So if he's getting hit clean and over, he can get chopped down and get knocked out as well. But I just don't know if Jared really has that dog in him to if it comes down to a battle of attrition and like who can take it the most, because they both get hit, both of them, and I don't think either guy want to stand there and just take clean punches from the other. So yeah, I mean, I think it's an intriguing fight, man. I hope that they make this fight. I really hope that they do make this fight, and if they do, that honestly would be the fight I'm looking forward to the most on that whole card. Yeah, for real. Yeah, and that's the thing. I've been saying this for the longest time, man. It's like Jarrett needs to start to step up. But every time he talks about this whole I only want to fight for 2 years, it's like, yeah, we kind of just brush him off because it's like, all right, what's the purpose of getting behind this guy, and then he ends up just walking away from the sport. Like, so yeah, we talked about that before as well. But Jared Anderson, between the two, is the better boxer. Yes. Bakoloe is the more battle tested, gladiator style of fighting. He, and listen, you see, this is where people have to understand the difference when a guy gets hit, right? Sometime a guy can hit you, right? And he might hit you harder than you ever been hit. But it might come down to the fact that you got the chin to take it, right? You got the body frame to take the big blows. Whereas the other guy might hit hard as well. But it's like he can dish it, but he can't. He can dish it out, but he can't take it. You understand what I'm saying? Like in other words, I saw Jared Anderson take big shots from Charles Martin, but once again, Bakoloe hits way harder than Martin does. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it might be a case of he can't take Bakoloe shots the way he took Martin shots. I think Bakoloe would knock Charles Martin out simply because Charles Martin, stylistically, Charles Martin is not the same fighter either. And I just think Bakoloe, like, he catches Martin clean, he's gonna knock him out. The difference with Charles Martin, and Jared is Charles, he has more experience than Jared. But his experience wasn't enough to overcome Jared. It was just enough to keep him from getting knocked out. You understand what I'm saying? And so I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, and then again, I saw Michael Hunter, who's not a big puncher. I saw him beat Bakoloe. Now, you can say Bakole's better now than he was then, but at the same time, he still lost to him. To him, and Hunter can't crack like Jared Anderson can. You know what I'm saying? And I just think, like, once again, this fight will tell us. It'll tell us what both guys are, because I want to see both guys, in the ring fighting against other guys, man. So it'll tell us where they are. But between the two of them, Jared Anderson is the one that, people still waiting for him to have that breakout fight too, to where, like, he shows what he's made of. And this is it. Now, I'm not saying for him to go in there and fight stupidly. No. Let me let this guy hit me to show y'all I can take a punch. No, that's not what I mean at all. Just saying he needs to step up. This is, like I said, this is a step up for both guys. But Jared needs this fight, and he wins. This would do a lot for him, because Bakole's a tough guy, man. Now, Bakoloe wins, it elevates him as well. The only difference in that is, we know Bakole's tough and that he can take punishment and he can give it out. We're trying to see what Jared Anderson is made of. So, you see what I'm saying? If Jared Anderson was to lose this fight, it's not to undermine Bakoloe winning, but people would look at it more like, yeah, dude was a hype job. He steps up against real competition and he loses. You know the way the boxing world thinks. So it'll be one of those things. Now he beats Bakoloe, it's like, okay, he's official, because Bakoloe is no joke. I personally, for me, I think either guy win, it's a big win. But in terms of the way people in the sport see it, could be something different. But yeah, I mean, I think if both guys are on top of their game, man, it should be a good fight. I just think if both guys are 100%, they both sharp. Jared should be able to pretty much keep Bakoloe at a point where he's throwing these big shots and he has nothing to hit, and he's getting hit in the process, and he's getting outpointed and he's getting cracked, and chip him down, break him down, and I no, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm not telling you that Jared's some soft punch. No, Jared can punch. What I'm saying, he's not a devastating puncher, but he can punch and he can knock you out. Like I said, you catch a guy clean, you can, bottom line, you can get him out of there. But yeah, man, just it's more than just that. And like I said, I don't know that he can take the type of punishment that Bakoloe can take. But we'll see, man. Now, Bakoloe don't want to come in there 300 pounds sloppy. He want to get in the best shape that he can possibly get in. And honestly, him coming in at 300 pounds isn't going to, it's not that he's going to win because he's 300 pounds. To have the weight behind him with the power, if Jared Anderson doesn't have the experience to figure him out and understand what he's supposed to do. Because even if the corner's telling you what to do, we've seen experienced fighters not listen to the corner. And again, if Jared, his heart is not into this, and he might just, like I said, feel like, man, I ain't gotta take this shit, man. And just, who knows? Go in there in survival mode, or might go in there and just get careless and fight stupidly. Which I think that for Jared, even though he's not, he's talking about quitting in two years or whatever, like retiring. I feel like he's shown us so far when he does come to fight, but that last fight was a stinker, and it could be also a telling sign. So I can't just throw that away. He has something to prove. So yeah, I'm for it, man. I'm with it. And that's why I can't pick a clear winner in this fight, because I see both guys being capable of beating the other. You know what I mean? It's just that their strategies to go about it is just different. That's all. And that's why I said it comes down to who can execute and who can take it the most. Because they both going to get hit unless somebody goes down early. They're both going to get hit. And wear and tear, accumulation of punches throughout a fight. Who can take it the most? Who can take it the most? Some fighters got so much wear and tear on them that they get to the point where they can't take what they used to, and then you got some guys that they're still able to, and it's a part of how they, it's just a part of their style. We've seen that with Joe Joyce, man. Dude gets cracked, and that shows you how hard Zane can punch too, because we've been seeing Joe Joyce fight like that his whole career. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, he got in there with Zane and was like, nah, this dude can crack. And, it is what it is. And you see Zane can box, man. Zane just has that issue of stamina, man. So, yeah. And look, once again, we see what just happened to Frank Sanchez, and I feel like skill-wise, he's a better boxer than Jared Anderson. I think, skill for skill, I think Jared is, out of all the guys outside of, AJ and them, well, I can't say Wilder anymore, but, AJ and Fury and the notable names, put it like that. So even if I say Wilder or whoever, I mean the Dylan Weiss, I mean just the notable names. All the guys outside of them that came after them, I feel like skill for skill, Frank Sanchez showed the best skill out of all of them. But look at what just happened to him, man. So yeah, you never can tell, man, and that's exactly what I'm saying. You never can tell. So we're picturing what we see you do, what your last performance was, and all of that. So yeah, yeah, who saw that coming, man? Frank Sanchez got the shit beat out of him, man. Like he looked awful that night, But hey, man, that's what happens sometimes. That's what happens sometimes. So, anyway, yeah, and that's the only loss Bakoloe has is to Michael Hunter. But Michael Hunter to me was a guy that Michael Hunter actually was a good fighter. I don't know what the hell happened to his career though, man, where this guy just doesn't fight. I don't know what happened to him, man. But Michael Hunter isn't the biggest puncher either, and he's not a big guy physically compared to most of these heavyweights as well. And yeah, so it's not like Bakoloe is unbeatable. Not saying that none of these guys are unbeatable, but he definitely has fought the better opposition. So that also can come into play. But yeah, I just wanted to give you more depth detail on how I see this fight than I did yesterday. I meant what I said, but I wanted to break these things down and mention, because we're talking about two good fighters, and I like this fight. I like this fight, man. So yeah, and we'll see what happens, because like I said, and just think about this. Let me say this, man. after seeing what happened with Wilder and Zhang, right? Anderson's name came up before the fight happened, but we knew what the Saudis was trying to get to happen. For Jared Anderson to be the next, heavyweight boxing star from America, he definitely needs to win this fight. If he wins this fight, and I'm going to say this, if he wins this fight and wins this fight impressively, and he continues to talk this bullshit about retiring in 2 years, he's going to sabotage his own career simply because nobody's going to want to take the chance on trying to put any value into him. Because if you want to walk away, then what are we working with you about? You're not dedicated. You don't want to stick around, right? So, I believe that they'll try to get in his ear, but I don't see, and I don't think anybody should play kiss ass for somebody just to try to get them to stick around. But he has to. He needs to see the value in himself and understand. Look, it's his career. So, but what I'm saying is, if he does all of that, then it'll still be the same thing of, well, America still doesn't have a big heavyweight star, that can headline and get attention and get these big fights, because the one that's there decides that he still doesn't want to stick around and fight. He wants to retire early. So, it is what it is. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, I like that fight. Yeah, Anderson and Bakoloe, I like that fight. I think too, when you look at where Anderson is in his career right now, his team knows he needs this fight. Remember, they were talking about him, and his trainer even said, yeah, we definitely want the Wilder fight by 2025. So, I don't know what's up with the negotiations, where they are right now, but with the Bakoloe fight, but I think Jared Anderson would have destroyed Wilder. You see, Bakoloe, this could be different, and yeah, this is different, So, yeah, and my point being, Bakoloe to me is a stiffer test than Wilder. The thing is, it was more of a passion of the torch type of fight with both of them coming from America. Whereas, like, okay, Wilder is not that, like, he's some big American heavyweight star. It's just he's the only one. And aside from him, you got Jermaine Franklin and Michael Hunter still out there somewhere. And you got, Jared Anderson. That guy, Jerry Forrest and all of them, they're just out here, man, but they're not doing anything. So that's what that moment would have been. Either Wilder is going to win, right? And stake his claim as, the heavyweight from America that's still here, or he's going to be dethroned in terms of that claim of just being the American heavyweight star by Jared Anderson. So, being that we know that fight's not happening, right? If these guys really want to invest any money and time into Jared Anderson, then he really needs to understand that, and he needs to take advantage of that and get focused and really, get that hunger for this sport that he needs to get to the top and stay there. Because, honestly, there's a lot of fighters out there right now, and there's a lot of people that would love to have that top spot. So, or whatever, I don't know if you want to be a rapper or whatever the hell it is you want to do outside of boxing, but, right now, it's just the type of thing where I don't know, man. Some people, I don't know. They get in the position where, like, they stand to make more money in their life than they even thought they could. Yet they just get to the point where they don't, I got other things, and okay. So, yeah, they just get to that point where they always do that. They walk away. Then 5-6 years later, they come back trying to convince the world that they're just as good or better now. And I don't know. Whatever happens. It's that man's life. But yeah, I like that fight. And Bakoloe to me is a stiffer competition. It's a stiffer competitor than Wilder. And so Jared Anderson win this fight. That's saying a lot. Now what he does after this, we don't know. If Bakoloe wins, he needs to be more active too, man, because he hasn't fought in a long time too. So, boxing is a grueling sport, man. I don't know what's going on with these guys, though. They come into this sport, man, and they win some fights, and then they get a little momentum, and then they just disappear. So, I don't know. But anyway, that's my assessment on this fight. I still pretty much say the same thing, but I wanted to give more detail to, how I see this fight in between them and what strategically what each guy needs to do, in my opinion. And yeah, man, but yeah, I feel like either guy can beat the other, man. I want to see it. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.